All right, friends, it's Timon. We're back with another Blaha video, man. We're going to react to the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slaves video he posted. And he's in live coffee chat right now, Blaha. Anyway, so yeah, in this video, Blaha says how fake natties on social media create harm. Oh, is that a fact? Okay.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here with JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness, and today I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about the real problem with fake natties online.
But what is he trying to accomplish here by throwing this ball over his shoulder or his head?
But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click a like and drop me a comment down below, I'd appreciate it so much. All right, this is one of those where I will point out that it really doesn't in a lot of ways affect you. Like at the end of the day, I will...
Yeah, I'll make this really clear, really quick. You know, when people tell you about bone density, well, you need to lift the weight for bone density. Well, not if you're negative nitrogen balance, your bones won't get dense. Oh, I have to lift the weight to build muscle or prevent muscle loss or whatever. You're not really building muscle because muscle's post-mitotic, but they can shrink, right? And then they could go back to homeostasis. So they can shrink, but guess what? They won't shrink if you're in positive nitrogen balance. But if you're in negative nitrogen balance, they will shrink. That's what will happen. See? So your bone loss, your muscle loss is all due to what? Diet, what you eat. That's all. It's really specific. And the loss of your mitochondria, in other words, you being mitochondrial dysfunctional is based on what you eat. And you become functional when you're in positive nitrogen balance. But if you eat an omnivore slaved diet, right? Those foods that you're not supposed to and they're toxic, they'll affect your, like carbohydrates. Carbohydrates over time in excessive amounts will affect your mitochondria. It'll make you slow. It'll affect your abilities to move around properly. You'll lose some bone mass and you'll lose muscle mass for sure. You'll shrink if you're not in positive nitrogen balance, especially as you get older because you're taking on more DNA damage. The problem with people don't really, I think really it's hard for people to really comprehend this. Look, if you're on your natural carnivore diet, eating meat your entire life, especially eating it raw, which your parents did not feed you raw animal products like they were meant to be eaten out in nature, because pots and pans and cooking doesn't exist out there. Like, what was that guy? He said in his video, potatoes, they were baking potatoes on hot fires over 100,000 years ago or some shit. Whatever. So no, they weren't doing any of that. But if you were raised on that, you'd probably be a perfect human being, absolutely intelligent, absolutely just a physical specimen. But because you're on this slaved diet, this what do you call it? Domesticated diet, a diet which domesticates you, and you're living in this environment which further domesticates you. This environment that we live in. We're not out in nature doing specific things that would strengthen up our bodies and stuff. So, yeah. But anyways, food will make you strong for sure. You know, it's kind of obvious, man, what's going on here. But yeah, do you need to lift weights for any of that? No, not really. Weights don't build muscles. They don't build bone density. Like I said, especially if you're in negative nitrogen balance. It'll do the opposite for you, if anything.
Some people, it does not affect you personally if someone else is natural or not. And on some level, I would say, look, quit worrying about it, in terms of just everyone obsessed over if someone's natural or not. In certain ways, it doesn't matter. However, I will say there is still...
It does matter if they're pushing their fitness schemes on you because they don't work.
Great harm in people being fake natties, okay? And I think we need to understand the difference, right? We need to understand the difference. It's one thing for someone...
There's no difference. You're either a fake natty or you're not.
...to just, not say anything, right? No problem. That's fine. It's another thing for people to actively promote and market their natty status. The big obvious one is obviously the selling of products. It's a scam. Okay, it's absolutely a scam. But I think there's a deeper thing that needs to be said, is the fact that people being fake natties I've seen it discourage people from lifting because the problem is so many people out there have set a standard, right? They've set a standard through heavy amounts of Photoshop, plenty of PEDs, all the stuff that people do online instead of how they really look, or how they would look if they never used anything, right? If they've never used tren, right? I mean, let's be fair. A lot of these guys, their physiques, if they only used a low dose of testosterone and nothing else, they wouldn't look anything like they look. And I'm talking even some of the smaller dudes, right? They wouldn't look like they look on that. They just
No, they wouldn't look like that at all, Blaha. Look at Blaha running up and down the street. He looks ridiculous, man.
wouldn't. Again, Photoshop, all this other stuff. The problem.
He's doing absolutely nothing here. This does nothing. Does nothing. He's just wearing himself out for no reason, going up and down the street with these little weights.
Is it creates this standard and this expectation of, hey, I did this natural. You know, I did this naturally, and they'll market it and sell it. And again, I have no
Here he goes with the sled. Like, yeah, okay, has magic powers.
trouble with people enhancing themselves. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's your body, your business, do whatever you want, right? I believe in freedom. It's your body. I mean, you're free to do what you want, dude. It's like cosmetic surgery or anything else. But here's the problem. The issue is
Yes,
when
what's the problem? What's the issue, Blaha?
you put stuff up, and I saw something on this that really spoke volumes a couple different times. I remember people asked me years ago, they said, well, what about someone with average genetics? You know, what could they achieve drug-free? Like
I
average.
love this. What could somebody with average genetics, what could they do drug free? What do you mean average genetics? What does that mean, average? You mean they weren't born, they didn't grow up really tall, or they're really short? What do you mean? Average genetics. Genetics has nothing to do with you building muscle, because muscle's post-mitotic. You cannot build muscle lifting weights. This is retarded. The only thing you can build are contractile proteins, and you can only build them, man, you can only build them if there's these micro injuries, if they take on a bunch of micro injuries. If not, and anyways, if you're not in positive nitrogen balance, then they also will not grow, regardless whether they were micro injured or not. That's another mistake people make. They don't understand they don't really put emphasis on eating. Eating is more important than your lifting. You know what I mean? You could lift once a week. Here's the thing. You could be the shittiest lifter I'll explain this. So you could be the crappiest lifter in the world. Like the shittiest lifter, like you could be just so shit. But guess what? If you were to come in on the 10th day, like you took a whole week or 2 weeks off, like let's say you came into the gym once every 2 weeks or something, your local gym, I guarantee you, if you're a very good eater and you're in positive nitrogen balance, but you come in there once every 2 weeks and you just do like a whole lifting routine, like just lift, guess what? I guarantee you within 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 6 months, you will bypass everybody in that gym in muscle density. Now, if you add some carbohydrates to it and gain some mass, so you get some density in myofibrillar growth, contractile proteins, and now you're going to be a lot stronger, that's for sure, because you're going to have more contractile proteins. There's more places for the motor units to proliferate in. So you're going to be way more stronger. Plus, you're going to be more weighed down because you're going to be carrying more weight. That goes with gravity as well. Plus, you can expand the sarcoplasm at the same time coming in, eating carbohydrate or complex carbohydrates. So you're going to look way bigger and stronger than the rest of these lifters who are like lifting slaves coming in negative nitrogen balance, lifting weights, complaining about why they're not growing. See what I mean? So why is the person that is the shittiest lifter in the world going to get more results coming in once every 2 weeks lifting? Because his body's will be prepped for muscle damage. Every time he comes in, it'll be prepped to get damage. It'll damage easily if he comes in once every 2 weeks. But the people that are working in the gym, coming in every day, every other day, whatever, they're adapted to their routine. They're adapted to the lifting weights. Get it? Yeah. So they're not getting micro tears. And they're not even in positive nitrogen balance. But the guy that is just in positive nitrogen balance, a good eater, eating meat all the time, no interference with omnivore fake diets, get it? He's going to surpass all the rest of these lifters.
Genetics, normal people.
So did it have anything to do with genetics? Absolutely not. So here's the thing. The first thing people think that when people start doing it properly, they see them getting bigger and stronger. The first thing they think is, oh, must be genetics. Yeah, it's not genetics, dude.
And I remember I put up Dr. Eric Helms. I'm like, well, this is a perfect example, right? This guy has competed in IPF, so he's had to do a lot of drug testing for that. I know people are going to say, but he's not lifetime natty. He did a cycle and admitted it a long time before all that. I'm aware of that, but it was only a single cycle of a oral. Okay. We're aware of this. Everyone knows this. It was in the, back in the day, he documented it on bodybuilding.com. But realistically,
what does it matter whether you did drugs or not? Muscles are post-mitotic. He's just blowing up his muscle with the sarcoplasm. So who cares?
He's obtainable naturally. Okay, so let's set aside the fact that he did admittedly do one like 6-week cycle in his history. Had a natural pro card. Had over a decade of hard work. He competed in powerlifting also and stuff. Drug tested IPF.
Who cares?
All this stuff, right? Right?
Yeah, he did. He took drugs and he competed. Yeah, okay.
Had a PhD pretty much in body. He did his PhD in pre-contest bodybuilders in nutrition. He studied them. So, I mean, he technically had a PhD in bodybuilding nutrition for all purposes because that's what he did his dissertation and stuff on.
Welcome to No Man's
Stuff on. And I said, I think that's a reasonable lifetime. If someone was pursuing physique or bodybuilding goals and they had average guy genetics, a normal guy, and they put in 10, 15 years of really hard work, that's an obtainable goal. I put that up a decade ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and said this is reasonable, right? You know the replies I got? There were people who were like, wow, he looks terrible. He's tiny. He doesn't even look like he doesn't live. I had several guys write, wow, I'm discouraged from even working out.
Okay.
I actually had some people write stuff like, I feel like giving up lifting. They're like, if that's the best.
They should feel like giving up lifting because muscles post-mitotic, they don't grow. They don't grow from doing any of this stuff. You can injure muscle fibers, so they activate the progenitor cell to repair that muscle. And when it repairs it, remodels it what? It remodels it bigger. The areas where the micro tears happen, they remodel bigger and stronger in those areas, those gaps. Yeah.
I can expect to be at if I put in 10 years of work. I'm discouraged from even working out.
You have to put in 10 years of work. What? To do what? To build sarcoplasmic muscle? You have to put 10 years of work? No, you don't. You could actually do that a lot quicker than myofibrillar growth. That happens in just a few weeks. Man, you could put on 20 pounds in like 4 weeks. Not maybe even 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 20 pounds sarcoplasmic. Well, if you come in every day or every other day workout. Well, if you come in once a week, you definitely put on once a week. You worked out 4 times in 4 weeks, you'll put on 20 pounds. Because the rest of the week, you're what? You're eating a lot of what? Starch. You're eating whatever, complex carbohydrates all day. Why is that? So you could load the sarcoplasm. You focus on loading up the sarcoplasm. Then you come back the following week, do a full body workout, pump the shit out of your muscles, and all that glycogen will fucking load in the muscle. Get it?
Okay? Let that sink in. This is a guy who had won national level natural bodybuilding shows. This is a guy who had a pro card
Okay.
and had been drug tested numerous times in a couple different sports regularly. Okay? People were like, I don't even want to lift. Like, this is discouraging. I saw the same thing. I saw like Ben Carpenter put up a guy. He did his responses. He goes, but this is a great natural physique and normal lighting. This guy put up the thing, said, man, I've been working out 5 days a week for 17 years. But the guy just had no tan, normal lighting, just kind of relaxed, shirtless, did a little bit of stuff. And there were people whose responses were,
Yeah, what were they?
what did he do? Did he not go to the gym? Like, you talk about wasting 17 years of your life. The guy.
You know, a good reason why a lot of people develop a lot bigger and stronger and taller than you is because they have a furnished ground of nitrogen balance. They're probably eating more meat than you. I knew some families that would eat a lot of meat. I had, God, these girls, they were really tall and big and strong. My neighbors down the street, they were from Spain. The parents were from Spain, and her mom was like a chef. She used to cook. She had a business and stuff, and they eat a lot of meat, man. And they were really developed. I was like, holy shit. So, when I think about it now, the people that ate the most meat in my neighborhood, they were the most developed kids. Yeah.
I looked good. The guy was fit. He was in shape.
And why is that? Because they were in positive nitrogen balance. That's associated with what? Pregnancy, young children are in what? Positive nitrogen balance. So that is a time to eat as much meat as you can. Get it so you can develop bigger and stronger and taller. Even animals end up like that. The animals that don't eat as much, and the ones that do eat more than the other animal will develop a lot bigger and stronger than they are when they're growing.
He looked like a guy who worked out. He was in shape. But because of internet standards, when you take someone who is actually natural and not a genetic freak, he's like, yeah, I've been training 5 days a week for 17 years.
There's no genetic freaks. There's just people on steroids.
I've been working out. Puts his results up, and I thought the guy was in shape. I think most people, the average person outside of the fitness world, would look at that guy and be like, yeah, he's in shape. Most women would look at that guy and say, yeah, he got a nice body. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They'd be like, hey, he looks good. Right? But because of the fake natties, we're now in a position to where fake natties and so much lying about drugs and all these crazy standards and Photoshop and AI, that if someone comes and trains for 17 years and puts in the work, and then you just see them in normal lighting, no Photoshop, no fake tan, okay?
Yeah.
Not peaked for the picture. People are like, wow, they don't even look like they lift. But they
Okay, Blaha.
clearly do.
They don't even look like they lift, but they clearly do. Oh, okay.
This is the standard. This is why the fake natty thing is a problem. And again, people will see this and go, wow,
Blaha's a fake natty.
if that's what 17 years of work gives you, I feel like this is a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a waste of time. They know it too themselves. They just want to make money off of stupid people because, see, they actually understand fitness, that muscles are post-mitotic. You're not building any muscle. And to build it, you have to go through this pain threshold, and you have to eat a lot. It costs money, and they know you don't have money to eat to be in positive nitrogen balance, and you definitely don't want to lift to be in this pain threshold for the entire week and then prep your body to come back again and re-injure your muscles again and try to grow them again, being positive nitrogen balance. They know that you won't go through that. They know that but you're lazy enough to go and exercise yourself like stupid and eat a lot of carbohydrates because that's what the Trent twins do. They just exercise the shit out of themselves, take drugs, and eat donuts all day. And you'll see other asshole lifters online. I'm telling you, there's so many crazy people online. They will just eat garbage food all day. They'll eat like a lot of, bro, it's all carbohydrate, bread, pasta, cookies, cream, this, that, donuts, ice cream. They're eating a lot of shit, and then they're telling you they're building muscles. Okay, yeah, right, okay.
Okay? Instead of us focusing on feeling good, being strong, being fit, being healthy, looking good to normal people, having an attractive body, people are then discouraged because of the goofball crazy standards of fake natties and the fake natty bodybuilding and all of this.
Yeah.
It literally now discourages people from working out when they see what actual real results are.
What are actual real results, Blaha? What are actual real results? Please tell us. Because you can't show it, so tell us.
It's a very sad state of affairs, and this is the real problem with it. This is why it's a problem. This is the harm that it does.
Oh, really? I guess that's the harm it does, like Blaha. See you in the next one, friends. Ciao. That was ridiculous.